Hey Asher, and thank you so much for joining me. This is just a quick perforation repair that just happened today. The best time to repair perforations is right when they happen. So this is tooth number 1-6, so this is the buccal. Here is the mesial, and here is the palate. Now this patient, I don't have the actual PA, but if you imagine, and of course this is mandibular molar, but just quickly Googling, this is the extent of the pulp chamber. So it's I'd say they're fairly an advanced case. And the provider had found the palatal canal and was looking for the mesiobuccal. Now, the provider uses 5.0 loops, so magnification and lighting is not bad. I think it's just an experience thing, which is normal. We've all been there. So when we sit down, what you're looking at actually is he'd already prepared, had this been a perforation, already placed BC sealer in the perforation, which I can value. The actual canal is actually right here. So if we take a look just at the angles, and you'll see it actually later on. So I'm going to take my Explorer. So the provider's actually watching in my in the phone. He's watching what you're seeing. So provider's really close. So what we're going to do is we're going to repair this case. This is a necrotic case. There's no lesion associated with this. So the prognosis is not bad. The tooth did have a large fracture. There we go. Oh yeah, I didn't know if I was going to pass it. You can see the fracture. Actually, we're going to go. There's a couple things in this case that's very interesting. One is working length. Two is this perforation. This other crack. This fracture stops right around here. There are no significant probing depths. There's a fracture right here, but it just kind of stops right along kind of where the gingiva is. So, it's a guarded prognosis, but we still have some hope. So you can see here, there's that. That's the MB orifice. Actually, distal buccal is like right here. We'll see that later on. So what we're going to do, there's two ways to deal with this. And I was just placing an 8 file just to kind of confirm to see if that's the mesiobuccal canal. Like I said, the best time to repair this is right at the time of perforation. So maybe not right that second. You could finish the pulpectomy or whatnot, even finish the endo. But normally what happens in my experience in my own perforation, couple of them, 20 years ago, is that you just want to get out of there. You want to solve the problem and get out. So I wanted to post this for you because this is kind of the situation. So what we're going to do is he had placed the BC sealer there just in case it was a perforation. I'm going to clean that out because I don't know what's under there, and we're going to record. We'll get a really good look at the perforation through the microscope. So here you can see, if we're looking at it, you can actually see the mesiobuccal orifice right there. You can actually see the distal buccal. So he was a little bit short in terms of his preparation. And we had talked about in advance, we'd already gone over kind of our pre-plan for tackling this tooth. Okay, so there's a perforation right there. And it's the size of like a number 4 round, long surgical burr. And we had talked about kind of the numbers, 6 millimeters from the mesiobuccal cusp to get to the roof of the pulp chamber. He's got about, a millimeter of space in the pulp chamber, and then it's 8 millimeters till you get to the floor of the pulp chamber, and then 11 millimeters to get to here. So the first thing you need to do, especially in these cases, is kind of calm your nerves. It's stressful. Of course, I've been there. And then let's solve the problem. So what we wanted to do is, because I actually wanted him to clean and shape some of the canals afterwards, and I have my own patient still at this moment. So what I wanted to do is so this has been sitting in hypo, so it's well disinfected. So what I'm doing is I'm just taking some paper points. We're going to dry that out, and we'll get a better look at it. And then we're literally just going to place some BC sealer. Because it's a fresh perforation, this is the best time to seal it because it's disinfected. You'll be able to see a little bit of the osseous tissue there. Let's speed this up quite a bit here, actually. There we go. Okay. So we'll see the perforation right here. There it is right there. So MB2 is actually like right around here. So, close but not close. So there's the perforation. So what we're going to do is we're going to take some BC sealer. This BC sealer tip had dried out, so I think we didn't change it. I was able to get some through. Okay, so what's really interesting is these tips. These are not BC sealer tips or other types. They're the same thing. They can actually be sterilized. So we sterilize our tips. There's a little bit of hypo there, and I was like, okay, what I'm going to do is I'll take a paper point. I'm going to dry that out just a little bit. And again, I'm showing this because it's going to happen to us. It happens all the time. And the best way to manage it is dealing with it right at that time if you're able to get hemostasis. Now, it didn't bleed that much, so that's definitely beneficial. If it bleeds a lot, you can put pressure with sodium hypochlorite on a little cotton pallet and just put pressure. You can also use BC sealer into where it's hemorrhaging. That might help stop the hemorrhaging as well. So we're just drying that. I'm going to spread that just around a little bit. And it's fairly simple. You know, when I was doing this many years ago, it was with MTA. It was very difficult to not sort out the perforation, but just deal with the material. Now these bioceramics are so much easier. So we're going to do that. Then we're going to place some resin modified glass ionomer. It's just faster to use Fuji 2. So we're going to place Fuji 2. Now you may say, oh, you just covered the orifice. I'm not worried about it because I know where it is, so I'm able to just kind of remove that. What I'm doing here is I'm just kind of spreading it out because it sometimes this material shrinks. So I kind of want to spread it out just a little bit, make sure I can get as much contact with the walls. Usually we do use a conditioner, but glass ionomer typically chemically bonds to tooth structure. So I'm not too worried about that. Really what I want is just prevent washing out of the BC sealer while, before it sets. Once it's set, you're good to go. Okay, so we've got our Fuji 2, it's set. I didn't get that in focus. And then what I'm going to do is we're going to tackle those orifices. So I'm just going to go straight with my Wave and Go primer. We'll put a bend on there. Rather than, I was like, I could start fiddling around with, there we go. We're just going to go right in there. We can start fiddling around with the Munspur. I'm just going to take that, place it in, and do what we taught in do exactly what we talk about in the course. We're going to open the coronal 2/3. Now this tooth is a little bit resorbed because it did have ortho. And then we're going to place this in the distal. You can see it right here. Boom. Distal is really short. It's like 14 mils. So when we talk about resorbed canals, what happens is that you lose your apical constriction typically, and now you're just essentially machining regular canals. So what happens is that you'll see we'll start with trying to get our working length. It's not going to work very well with an 8 file because the canal is so wide. So that's one of the if you're having problems with a stable working length, and we did. Okay, so we cleaned we'll flush that out. So I take an 8 file, and it was wobbly as heck. It's wobbly as heck here, wobbly as heck here. And there was what had happened was there's a bunch of debris in my palatal canal right here. See all this, the foaming, the champagne bubble test. So lots of debris in there. And what I wanted to do is, I'm just going to dry that out a bit real quick. I'm going to dry all these canals because there's perforation. So there might be connection underneath this material. It's not perfectly sealed. There might be connection between if there's any fluid anywhere. So I'm just going to quickly dry, and then we'll go for a working length. And this made it so much faster to get a solid working length. So I went with a 15 file, and my working length was still not stable enough. I wasn't happy enough with it. Let me pull this up here. So it was pretty, okay, there we go. So there's our access. Oh yeah, so let's go back because I was talking to him. He's looking through my phone. So yeah, so there's the musibuckle. MB2 is around here. So we're bringing the patient back, and we'll finish it. I didn't finish the case. I just got him the working length. We'll open the coronal 2/3. So I used a 15 file. It was really, really wonky. Not stable at all. So I just jumped to literally a 20 file. I did that for a few canals. And then we put a 20 file in. Sometimes it takes a 25. Sometimes it takes, even a 30 file. So nice stable working reference point. Nice and stable. Boom. And then same with the palate. You'll see in the mirror up here. Right there. It's super stable. Boom. And that's it. So anyways, hopefully that helps. So a few tips, just, talking about those perforations, talking about working length, and those cracks. Oh, there's that fracture right there. Look at that. If I can go back. Right There, yeah, you can see that fracture right there. And this one, they still stop at the pulpal floor chambers, stop at the floor of the pulp chamber. So we'll get a large cuspal coverage restoration on top of here and see how it goes. Anyways, let me know what you think. Thanks for being here. I'll talk to you soon. Hey, Ash here, and I wanted to take a second of your time just to introduce our course, Root Canal Like an Endodontist. We've had it for a couple years, and we've had some amazing successes through it. Just confidence building on behalf of our students. And really what happened was a few years ago, I wanted to create a course to help others because I know what it's like on your endo journey. A lot of times you don't know what's going on. You don't know if you've ledged it. You don't know what to do if you blocked it. You don't even know if a curved canal, what to do. And what I wanted to do was take all my mistakes and my training from my residency and put it into a affordable online course for everyone around the world to join in. And it's been absolutely amazing. And I wanted to offer to you, check us out at allthingsendo.ca. Once you join the course, you get access into our private Facebook group where all of us answer questions. And I'm telling you, there are questions every day that you might be able to, I'm sure you'll be able to connect with, because sometimes it just takes a little bit of courage to ask a question and then your outcome may be incredible. Anyways, I look forward to seeing you there. allthingsendo.ca. We'll talk to you soon.